Lebanon. Our reporter Cyril Payen is standing by. Cyril, you travelled to the south of the country where some of these Israeli airstrikes are concentrated. What did you see there?
Well, very much on the ground, which is like a few dozen kilometers away from the ground front line in the fighting between the Hezbollah militias and the Israeli ground forces. It looks very much for the people here trying to take care of a massive exodus from tens of thousands of refugees, displaced people coming from the south, standing in town like Saida. There were some multiple strikes around this northern part, but also in northern part of the Valley Bekaa. It was a very intense, in terms of bombardments, a very intense day yesterday. And so basically the people here would try to organize the help to secure the shelter for the refugees are all very clear on one point. They have been observing the capacity, the superiority militarily of the Israeli army, and they know and they really said that they are bracing for more an intense strike and more an intense offensive on the ground. Just because they say the Israeli just stated when they started the offensive on the 23rd September and the ground offensive on 30th September in southern Lebanon, that it will be a limited operation, ground operation. And now they say there are multiple ground operations. There are multiple fronts with also this maritime blockade which is taking place in some part of the border on the sea, which is really hurting the people. So everybody's bracing for more intensity in the strikes and the offensive, just because they say it looks like the Hezbollah is fighting a low intensity warfare, guerrilla warfare, and the Israeli are going on with some high intensity strike and ground offensive. So it looks like very much the Israeli has no resistance like they could have been expecting. There is no, as they say, strong reaction from the international community, say even from Washington, looking at the damage on the ground. I remind you that we have 2,100 people killed in only 2 weeks. Here in Lebanon, 40% of the people which is displaced. So it's a very worrying on the ground. And again, people in the south are just saying we're going to have more intense fighting in the south and more crossing a border by the Israeli ground forces.
And what's the situation where you are this Thursday morning in Beirut, I see?
Well, to be very frank, we have been here for the past 12 days, and it was quite nice. Everybody really slept in Beirut, which is really taken as a relief, very frankly. There was two big strikes at the beginning of the evening, just behind me, in the southern part of Beirut, as always, by the IDF, by the Israeli army. The drones are coming back now, just spiraling under the sky of the Lebanese capital. But everybody knows that it's just a pause before more strike on Beirut, of course, and strike on the other parts of Lebanon. What is expected is everybody knows here also that there were 2 Israeli citizens killed in the Kiryat Shmona, which is a town bordering the Israel and Lebanon yesterday after a Hezbollah strike, and also some people wounded in the big port city of Haifa in northern Israel. So everybody's expecting this pause, but some more strike again as a reaction to come from the Israeli soldiers.
All right, Cyril Payen, thank you very much for following the situation for us from Beirut.